There are 6 emotional triggers that make a woman addicted to you, and most men activate music, the exact opposite, without even realizing it. They think attraction comes from saying the right words, giving music more attention, or always being available. But real attraction doesn't work that way. It begins with emotions, not logic. The smallest music changes in your behavior can completely change how a woman sees you. When music, you understand these hidden triggers, you'll stop wondering why interest fades music and start noticing why she keeps thinking about you, misses your presence, and wants to be closer to you. In this video, you'll discover the 6 powerful music emotional triggers that naturally create deep attraction. Number 1. The bad boy effect. The music's biggest misunderstanding about the bad boy effect is that it has nothing to do with being rude, disrespectful, or careless. What actually music attracts attention is a man who values himself enough to stop seeking approval from everyone around him. That music is the difference. A man who constantly explains himself, tries to impress, agrees with music everything, and puts another person's happiness above his own, slowly loses his music identity. He becomes predictable because every decision is driven by the hope that someone else will music like him. Confidence begins the moment you stop making your worth depend on another person's opinion. That does not mean music becoming cold, it means becoming steady. Speak only when your words add music value. Keep your promises. Set clear boundaries and respect music your own time. If someone pulls away, do not panic or music rush to fix everything. Let your actions remain consistent while your emotions stay under music your control. People naturally notice someone who is comfortable standing on his music's own feet. Instead of trying to win every conversation, focus on becoming a man who listens carefully, thinks before speaking, and walks away from situations that drain his energy. That quiet confidence carries more weight than endless attention ever will. Your life should not stop because someone replies late or changes their mood. Keep building your goals, your health, your discipline, and your purpose every single day. When your attention is earned, music, instead of freely given, people begin to value your presence more because they see that your time has meaning. The real bad music boy effect is not about pretending to be difficult. It is about becoming music so grounded in your own values that you no longer change who you are just to avoid music discomfort. That is the kind of strength that lasts because music comes from self-respect rather than performance. And once you build that music foundation, every relationship becomes healthier because you are no longer asking someone else to complete the parts of yourself that only you music can build. Number 2, the mystery factor. Being mysterious does not mean hiding your music personality or playing games. It means allowing people to discover you over time musicking instead of revealing everything at once. One of the fastest ways to lose music interest is by explaining every thought, every plan, and every emotion the moment it appears. Confidence is music comfortable with silence. It does not rush to fill every quiet moment. Leave room music for curiosity. Let your actions tell your story before your words try to convince anyone. Build a life that naturally creates interesting experiences instead of music trying to sound interesting. Spend time learning new skills, improving your fitness, reading, traveling when music you can, developing your career, and creating goals that have nothing to do with dating. When your life is full, music conversations become effortless because you have real experiences to share instead of rehearsed lines. At the same time, protect your inner world. Not every music opinion needs to be spoken. Not every emotion needs an immediate audience. Choose the right time, the right person, and the right reason before opening up. This is music not about pretending to be emotionally distant. It is about showing emotional maturity. Stay composed when situations become confusing. Observe before reacting. Give music yourself time to think before making important decisions. That habit alone, music, changes how people respond to you because they begin to see consistency instead of emotional swings. Curiosity grows music when there is depth beneath the surface. People are naturally drawn to someone who remains genuine while still keeping music healthy boundaries. They realize there is always more to discover, and that creates lasting interest. The mystery factor is not created by silence alone. It is created by purpose, patience, discipline, and the quiet confidence of a man who music knows that his value comes from how he lives each day rather than from how much attention he receives. Music number 3, emotional independence. Emotional music independence is the point where your happiness is no longer controlled by someone else's attention, mood, or approval. And this is where your life music begins to change, because you stop waking up wondering whether a message will arrive, whether someone's music still likes you, or whether one conversation determines your value. Instead, music you build a life that stands on its own, one decision at a time, and that changes the way people respond to you. Because confidence grows naturally when your identity comes from your actions instead of someone else's opinion. Far too often, a music man gives away his peace without noticing it, checking his phone every few minutes, reading too deeply into short music replies, changing his plans just to be available, hoping music that if he gives a little more, he will finally receive the certainty he wants. But that cycle never music ends, because peace cannot be borrowed from another person. It has to be built within yourself. And the moment music you understand that, your mindset becomes stronger than circumstances. You begin to protect your time, music, your attention, and your energy, because you realize they are limited resources. You no longer explain yourself to everyone. You no longer seek permission to pursue your goals. And you stop allowing temporary emotions to decide permanent music choices. If she becomes distant, you do not abandon your routine. If she becomes uncertain, you do not abandon your standards. If she changes her mind, you do not lose your music direction, because your direction was never supposed to depend on another person in the first place. This is not music about becoming cold or pretending you do not care. It is about caring without losing music yourself, about respecting another person while respecting your own boundaries even more. Because the strongest relationships are built between two complete individuals, not one person carrying the emotional weight of both. Every day gives music you an opportunity to strengthen this habit by keeping promises to yourself. Waking up music when you plan to wake up. Finishing the work you said you would finish. Exercising even when motivation disappears. Reading instead of endlessly scrolling. Improving your skill instead of waiting for validation, and choosing discipline over temporary comfort. These small music choices seem ordinary, yet they quietly reshape the way you see yourself music, until confidence no longer depends on compliments or attention. It becomes part music of your character. People naturally respect someone who respects himself music, because consistency speaks louder than endless words. When music you remain composed during uncertainty. Think carefully before reacting and continue moving towards your music purpose, regardless of what is happening around you. Your presence becomes steady, reliable, and calm. And that steadiness music is rare, because so many people allow every small disappointment to pull them away music from what truly matters. Remember that your greatest responsibility is not music convincing someone else to appreciate your value. It is becoming the kind of man whose daily habits make that value impossible for him to ignore. And once you reach that point, you stop living for approval and start living with purpose. Because the strongest foundation you will ever build is the one that exists even when music nobody is watching. If you're serious about becoming that man, I'm excited to music tell you that the Stoic Relationship Blueprint course for men has finally been completed after months of relentless music work by me and the Stoic Tribe team. Built from more than 2,000 years of timeless wisdom and transformed into a clear step-by-step system that shows you exactly how to build unshakable confidence, emotional discipline, music-strong boundaries, lasting self-respect, and healthier relationships. Music saving you years of confusion, costly mistakes, and emotional pain, while giving you music lifetime access to knowledge you can return to anytime. And it will be launching music before the end of this week. If you want early access before everyone else, comment Music Blueprint, because this course is designed to help you completely transform your life from the inside out, and music become the kind of man who naturally earns respect and leads with strength. Number 4, scarcity music creates desire. Scarcity is not about pretending to be busy or making yourself unavailable just to music create curiosity. It is about building a life that naturally demands your attention because your time has purpose and music, your energy, has value. And once you begin to understand this, the way you carry yourself, music changes completely, because you stop acting as though every opportunity music to receive attention is something you must grab before it disappears. Instead, music, you become selective about where your attention goes, who receives your time, and what deserves your effort. Too often a man music gives away the best parts of himself without asking whether the other person has earned music that level of access. He answers every message immediately. Even when music is in the middle of something important, he cancels plans that help him grow because someone music else suddenly becomes available. He slowly teaches himself that his own priorities can always music wait. And after doing this long enough, he begins to wonder why music longer feels respected. The answer is simple. Because when you repeatedly place your own goals behind everything else, you quietly communicate that your own life is not your highest priority. But the moment you decide that your health, your discipline, your career, your family, your values, and your long-term purpose, music, deserve your full commitment, everything starts to shift. Not because you become music distant, but because you become intentional. People naturally notice someone whose life has direction, because that music kind of confidence cannot be copied with clever words. It comes from daily habits, music repeated over time. Start protecting your schedule. Keep the promises music you make to yourself. Finish what you begin even when nobody is watching. Stop interrupting music, your own progress, every time your emotions try to pull you away from what matters. Music. If someone wants your attention, they can respect your time just as you respect music theirs. Healthy relationships grow stronger when both people understand that each person has responsibilities, ambitions, and personal goals outside the relationship. Your life should never become so music small that another person's choices determine whether your entire day is good or bad. Build routines, music that continue whether someone praises you or ignores you. Continue music improving when life becomes uncertain. Continue learning when progress seems slow. Continue showing music up, because discipline creates confidence one day at a time. When your attention, music is no longer available to everyone at every moment, your words begin to carry greater weight, because they are backed music by action instead of constant availability. Silence becomes comfortable, patience becomes music natural, and your presence becomes more meaningful because it is genuine rather than forced. Remember that your value does not increase by giving more of yourself to everyone around you. It increases when you learn to invest your energy wisely. Protect your peace without becoming bitter. Protect your standards without becoming arrogant. And protect your future without apologizing for it. Because the strongest music version of yourself is not created by seeking constant attention, but by living each music day with enough purpose that your life remains full, whether someone chooses music to walk beside you or not. Number 5, make her earn your attention. One of the music's biggest mistakes you can make is treating your attention as though it has no value. Giving it away music freely to anyone who shows the smallest amount of interest while expecting music that your constant availability will somehow create deeper attraction. But attention music only becomes meaningful when it is given with intention, and that begins music with respect yourself enough to recognize that your time, your energy, and your focus are limited resources, music that deserve to be invested wisely. Too often a man believes that replying instantly, music agreeing with everything, always being available, and constantly proving himself will make him impossible to lose. Yet the opposite often happens because he slowly communicates that music, his own life, can always wait. His priorities can always be pushed aside, and his purpose is less important music than gaining someone else's approval. This creates an unhealthy pattern where his happiness music becomes tied to another person's actions instead of his own choices. And before long, he no longer recognizes the confident man music he wants to become, because every decision is driven by fear instead music of conviction. Change begins when you decide that your attention must be earned through mutual respect, honesty, music consistency, and genuine effort rather than handed out simply music because someone happens to be present. This is not about keeping score or making anyone music compete for your affection. It is about building relationships that stand on equal ground instead of one person constantly carrying the weight while the other simply receives. Healthy confidence grows music when you stop trying to convince people of your value and begin living in a way that naturally demonstrates it through your actions, music, your discipline, and your standards. Protect your schedule. Continue music, working on your goals even when distractions appear. Spend time with people who encourage your growth. Keep learning music. Keep improving your health. Keep developing skills that strengthen your future. Because every hour invested in becoming a better version of yourself pays greater rewards than a music hour spent searching for approval that may never arrive. If someone genuinely values you, they will also respect your time, your boundaries, and your ambitions. They will not expect you to abandon your responsibilities every time they call, because they understand that your life has direction, and that direction is part of what makes you interesting in the first place. There will always be moments when emotions encourage you to overthink, to explain yourself unnecessarily, or to seek reassurance. But those moments are opportunities to strengthen your character by choosing patience instead of impulse, silence instead of endless explanations, thoughtful action instead of emotional reaction. Every decision you make either strengthens your self-respect or weakens it. And the good news is that this choice belongs entirely to you every single day. Begin asking yourself whether your actions reflect the man you want to become or the approval you hope to receive. Because those are two very different paths. One depends on circumstances that change from day to day, while the other depends on principles that remain steady regardless of what happens around you. When you consistently live according to your values, your confidence stops rising and falling with someone else's attention. Your presence becomes calmer. Your words become more meaningful. Your decisions become clearer, and your relationships become healthier because they are built on mutual respect instead of constant validation. The strongest position you can ever reach is knowing that your attention is valuable because you have first learned to value yourself. And from that point onward, every relationship becomes a choice instead of a necessity, allowing you to give your best without ever losing yourself in the process. Number 6, live for your purpose. Living for your purpose changes the direction of your entire life because it gives you something greater than temporary attention to wake up for every single day. And once your mind becomes focused on building a meaningful future instead of constantly wondering what someone else is thinking, you begin to carry yourself differently without forcing it. Because confidence grows from progress, not from approval. Often a man delays his own dreams while waiting for the right relationship, the right opportunity, or the right moment to begin. But life continues moving whether he acts or not. And every day spent waiting is a day that could have been used to become stronger, wiser, healthier, and more capable. Your purpose is not simply a career or a goal. It is the collection of daily actions that move you closer to the life you truly want. It is choosing discipline when comfort calls your name. Choosing growth when excuses become easy. Choosing responsibility when blame would be simpler, because every one of those choices builds a man who trusts music himself, and self-trust is one of the strongest foundations you can ever create. When your music life has direction, you stop measuring your value through someone else's music attention, because your days are already filled with meaningful work, learning, improving music, your health, strengthening your finances, deepening your relationships with family and true friends, and becoming music someone your future self will respect. If she enters your life, let her add to that music journey instead of becoming the center of it. Because no relationship can carry the weight of a life that has no direction. Your purpose gives you stability. Music during uncertainty. It reminds you that temporary disappointment does not define your future. Music, it teaches you to pause before reacting, to think before speaking, and to make decisions based on music principles rather than passing emotions. There will always be distractions asking for your attention. There will always be moments when you question yourself. But every time you return your focus to your mission, you strengthen your character a little more. And those small moments of music discipline quietly become the person you are becoming. Stop comparing your progress with everyone around you, because every hour spent looking sideways is an hour taken away from building your own path. Compare yourself only with the man you were yesterday, and ask whether your habits, your mindset, and your actions are moving you forward. Success is rarely music created by dramatic changes. It is built through ordinary decisions repeated consistently over months and years. Wake up when you plan to wake up. Finish the work you promised yourself you would finish. Take care of your body. Continue learning even when nobody notices. Remain patient when results arrive slowly, because every one of those habits creates quiet confidence that cannot be taken away by changing circumstances. People naturally respect a man who respects his own commitments, because they see someone who remains dependable even when life becomes difficult. Your greatest music competition has never been another person. It has always been the version of yourself that settles for comfort music instead of growth. Overcome that version one day at a time, and your entire music life begins to change. Not because the world suddenly becomes music easier, but because you become stronger, clearer, and more focused than you were before. And that is the true transformation. Music building a life so meaningful that your peace, your purpose, and your self-respect remain steady regardless of who comes into your life or who chooses to walk away. Because at the music end of the day, your greatest achievement is not earning someone else's attention. It is becoming the kind of man who earns his own respect every time he looks at the choices he has made. If you're ready to apply timeless principles that have guided strong, disciplined men for more than 2,000 years, comment Blueprint. Grab the Stoic Relationship Blueprint ebook for men, now also available as an audiobook so you can listen while walking, jogging, driving, or training through music. The link in the comments. And don't let the noise around you keep you from knowledge that can save you years of confusion, regret, and wasted effort. Like this music video and subscribe so more men can discover these life-changing lessons. The Stoic Music Relationship Blueprint course for men is launching later this week. And after countless hours of work from me and the Stoic Tribe team, we've built a complete step-by-step system from more than 2,000 years of timeless principles to help you develop stronger character, emotional discipline, clear boundaries, and healthier music relationships with lifetime access. So now it's your turn to put this wisdom into practice and transform your life from the inside out.